And welcome to today's live broadcast, which is coming to you from Mülheim, Ruhr. I'm now at the Achorn dealership here. This is one of three Achorn dealerships, and this street Kölner Straße is the it's about 3.5 kilometers, and in this 3.5 kilometers one will find the largest selection of motorhomes anywhere in Europe. And so if one were looking for something like this, okay, hello Kevin, then this is the place to come to. Now this is a live broadcast, so please you can ask anything you want, and without any problems, but with the usual restrictions, don't say anything vulgar or anything like that, if you don't mind, that is. So I had attempted to do a number of I wanted to do a number of live broadcasts from Caravan Salon. Unfortunately, I found myself without my own internet on roaming, although I had plenty of it. Unfortunately, I uploaded a video on my own internet and not meaning to use the when I was meaning to use the internet which was provided there. The result of this was that I had none of my own internet, and the internet they provided us with wasn't good enough. I made a number of attempts, but unfortunately failed. So I thought it's quite good at Caravan, sort of walk around and show people what's available. Now, currently I'm using the internet from the office here, which means I can't actually show you the vehicle. I can't show it by turning the camera around, and I'll do that right now. Oh, sorry, the gimbal's in the way, but the camera has been now turned around. I'll put the gimbal out of the way a bit if I can. Well, the gimbal's gonna be in the way anyway. I had my gimbal broke. Didn't break it, sort of just gave up the ghost. Anyway, okay. I'll turn it back around. Maybe it's better if I just turn myself the whole way around. So either my head's gonna be in the way, or the or the gimbal is. There's not much choice in the matter. So I said here I talk about the novelties from Caravan Salon. So what people normally want to hear about is the vehicles, but what I'm going to start off with, what I find the most exciting is I hope this stays online. Sorry if it goes, well, having said that, if it goes offline, there's nothing I wouldn't know anyway. The most exciting thing for me is always the equipment, and so there's three things I'm gonna refer to as far as equipment is concerned. And the number one thing is there's a company called I forgot the name of it, EcoFlow, and thanks Clive. EcoFlow, I'm really into these portable batteries, because I think that the portable battery units are going to supplant the battery units which are fixed, and we can take them from vehicle to vehicle. And if you get a big vehicle like you've got here or something like that, then it doesn't make much difference. But if you get a smaller vehicle, one you do yourself, you can actually put your own battery in it and take it out. I think this is really good. Now, and EcoFlow has announced they will be bringing out next month, October, a new battery system, and that is that is something I think is quite exciting. But I'll tell you more about that when they release the information that they want to. Anyway, so Kev says he should I do more? Yes, I'll do more videos of the places I visit in the future, and how long will the battery units last? Yeah, we're now talking of incredible amounts of cycles, and a cycle is when you take it from 100 to 0, and when you're talking of thousands of cycles, then let's face it, it's going to last the rest of our lives. I mean, the lithium battery I've got in here, installed in 2018, I think I've taken it down to 0 twice, and both by accident, I might point out. and therefore I suggest if even if it only had 100 cycles, it's going to last longer than I will. So, but it doesn't have 100 cycles. I mean, these lead acid batteries say 100 cycles, but I mean, it's really easy to take them down to zero. With the lithium, it's much harder. So I think we're getting to a stage where lithium batteries will last longer than we will. That's how I feel at the moment. I mean, I don't know. There may be something else which we don't know about, but that's something I think is really very exciting. But I'm going to do more videos on that, because I've arranged to actually do this probably next month, depending on where I'm going to be. At the moment, I'm planning on being in Ukraine, so it might be so easy to do it from there. As I don't take my motorhome into Ukraine, but if I'm in Poland, then I'll be able to do it. Next thing I thought was really exciting was I saw a plaster. You know, a sticky plaster. You cut yourself, you stick a sticky plaster on your skin. And now I bet everybody's seen these things before, but I'd never seen them. I'd never heard of them. These sticking plasters are for motorhomes. They claim that you can stick it over your vehicle when you get a leak. My vehicle springs leaks all the time, and if I can just stick a plaster over it, that's fantastic. The problem is, of course, it's finding out where the leak is. That takes ages, and unfortunately nobody has got a way of doing that yet. You know, if you get a puncture or something like in the shell of the vehicle, then you can see, but that's not the way it happens. And where it comes in is not where it comes out is not where it comes in. So you've got the roof is leaking, but that may not be the place the water's getting in at. The water will always get in. But anyway, I thought this sticking plaster was a great thing. And there's a third thing where there's a lady who's developed an app to troubleshoot problems with your motorhome. And you may say, well, hang on just a minute, what do I need an app for? There's plenty of forums. If my fridge stops working and there's plenty of gas in the cylinder, and there's it's on gas, the light's coming on. But this is what she's developed: a system, sort of a checklist. Not only that, she's done deals with Dometic and with Truma and Thetford, and on the process of, and which they will put in. So I thought this thing here, which at the moment, well, the price is going up to €10, but €10 a year to give you the peace of mind of an app which tells you what's wrong. I thought that was brilliant. But anyway, let's get on to the vehicles now. The number one vehicle for me at Caravan Salon was one from Robeta. Robeta is a Slovenian company, although the vehicle, this one I think was made in Germany. It was a longest 740 centimeter long Mercedes Sprinter with an incredible it was like a luxury hotel inside. The materials were wonderful. This was the number one thing at Caravan Salon, and I'll upload a video about it, and as soon as I can. I mean, it's difficult because when I'm on the road and internet access and all the rest of it, but that will be the number one. I'm sorry, it's a bit of wind. I hope you can hear me okay. If not, I'll just have to go inside. In fact, what I could do is I could just go inside now, and then you won't have to worry about if you can hear me or not. It's not my office, it's someone else's office, so I hope they won't mind me sitting in here doing this live. All right, so that was the number one thing. Oh, you got a YouTube notification? Sorry, for how many? All right, Kevy asks a very good question about the battery. Sorry to go back. How many hours from full to zero? Oh, yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, but really, I mean, the vehicle. I mean, if you what takes a lot of power out? If you put a heater on it, for example, then I think we're talking very few, not very long. So if you connected it to, I mean, I've got a 4,000 watt inverter. So if I put a heater on it it wouldn't electric heater, it wouldn't last very long. But I mean, in normal use, we did an aircon unit in my vehicle 4 or 5 2017, 5 years ago, and that connected to the inverter, and that on a sunny day, not a day like today which is overcast, but if you're out in the sun, which is normally when you're using aircon anyway, that would power the aircon unit. And there was a bit of a drop in, but not a lot. But that's one thing. So the aircon would, but if you put an aircon on a day like today, that would be down to zero in no time at all. Oh, and now what's happened here? The how's my something's gone wrong with the. Sorry. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna have to put this back on again. It's the gimbal's sort of giving up the. What's wrong with this? Now it'll come on, I think. There we go. Sorry. Don't know what happened there. Because I tried to take the gimbal out the way, and then it from the when I was showing you the vans, and then the thing went down. So the battery going down would be in next to no time at all. Anyway, so Clive says he's got an EcoFlow unit. It's the best thing ever. And Paul asks what excited me the most. So it's probably the plaster, actually. That's what I thought, or the EcoFlow units. They're the two things which excited me the most. The plaster is because I'm a practical person. Yeah, Kevy asked, did leaks appear over time? Yes, they can, because what you've got a wall, and the wall which in the motorhome which have been glued on, unless you've got a monocoque unit, which is a single shell unit. So what happens is it's rattling, and you're driving down the cobbled streets, and even if you're driving on really good roads like they've got here in Germany, well, having said that, not as good as they used to be, but even so, even with that, and going over speed humps, all of this, it makes the vehicle unstable. And so what will happen is glue may be put in, but it's going to crack and dry, and I don't know what else, and water will get in. That's why some companies will give as much as 10 years water ingress guarantee, and then the water will appear one day after the guarantee stops. But there's all sorts of, with these guarantees, there's all sorts of other problems though, which happen, so that it's not always as good. You got to read the small print. There's some other YouTuber who bought a roller team, and they ended up living in it, and that invalided the guarantee because it said you can't live in it. Or something like that. I meant to look at the wording on the contract, and I didn't do it. So I don't know. But yeah. So water gets in. In my case, I thought it was from the skylights. I don't know what it was. There is a place where this previous skylight. What's that? There's a ring. Oh, so the phone's ringing. I'll walk outside so we don't end up hearing the conversation. So the skylight had some really daft, I don't know what it was, something from the 1990s, but I think the water is getting through there because as part of it I couldn't actually remove. So that's in my opinion, in my vehicle. Although I've noticed in my vehicle, it depends on the way it stands, and that I can sort of angle it in a certain way that it doesn't. But last year, I had it sort of parked like that. It's Caravan Salon, nose up, and there was a lot of water came in, and so I can't explain it. I mean, I don't know, but this is a problem with all vehicles. And anyway, so. Okay, how long, Kevy asked, how long will the plaster last? The plaster, I don't know. They told me you could leave it on for quite a long time, but I haven't actually tried it out yet because I got it on the very last day. And it was this, I was just, everybody was leaving. And what happened was somebody just started talking to me as people were leaving. And then I got onto they brought the subject of the plaster up with me. I didn't ask them about it. They brought it up with me. And I didn't tell them what I did or anything like that. And I thought this was absolutely incredible. So I mean, let's see how well it works. Because if it, if it works this well, maybe we could do something, have a competition, or maybe I don't even sell them, or something like that. And whatever. Anyway, I'll see how well it works. But I'll be in contact. Maybe I can get some prices on the things as well. I mean, let's face it. If a plastic costs even it costs a few, well, only a few euros, it's probably going to cost more. But I mean, it's always worth having a thing on you anyway, isn't it? It's like having you keep plasters in your vehicle. I've got a first aid kit in my vehicle. It's, you know, I'm 20 years old probably by now, but I'm probably all not much good. But at least it's there. So anyway, right. So ring. Will you be placing your van? No. I know what I want. I'll wait for the prices to collapse. Yeah. Okay. So in a recent video, right, Zombie, Islander, in a recent video mentioned the Niesmann Bischoff Ice Mauve not being fit for purpose. Just wondered why. Yeah, that's a good question. The Niesmann Bischoff Ice Mauve, in my opinion, is the most attractive vehicle I have ever seen inside. It is really nice. It's wonderful. The problem is the electronics. And if the electronics don't work, then from having a super attractive vehicle, sorry, somebody coming in. All right, I'm going to walking outside. And so if the electronics don't work, then we have a major problem. What I saw in this vehicle and also now from feedback from other people is that the electronics are a major problem. And another thing, bear in mind, if you buy a vehicle now today, you expect it to be on the road in 25, 30, maybe 35 or 40 years time. A friend of mine's driving a Westfalia it's 44 years old. And my vehicle here is 24 years old. And most people who are watching this have old vehicles. You expect the things to last, but the more electronics you put in it, the less chance there are of it lasting. We can see that from when cars started to have electronics as well. And it's the thing with this, with the vehicle electronics. You put them in the engine, for example. It's about the worst place you can put it. Everything's shaking around. It's hot. It's cold. It's subject to all sorts of potential contamination from whatever's in the engine. Then that is the worst environment possible. Now, obviously, if you've got it inside a motorhome, then it's not quite as bad as that. It is shaking around and all the rest of it, as I mentioned, unless you sort of just leave it on your drive. And I just can't imagine a motorhome not being used off-road. I don't mean hardcore off-road, but you drive it on the grass at a campsite. And so that is why the Niesmann Bischoff, when I've been in them, I've seen been in vehicles where just about everything was broken. And you know, I've been in plenty of vehicles where things get broken because things get taken to trade fairs and people smash them up. But this was really extreme. So I just don't. I would not expect this to happen, and as it has happened, in my opinion, it is not fit for purpose, and it's a pity because. But the more I think about it with the electronics, electronics are not a good idea. My first car was a Renault 25, and it was from the vehicles from 1982, and it had a computer in it, and the computer would talk, and I mean, it sounds great and all the rest of it, but it was no good. I later got a Mercedes 190D from 1985, no electronics, just normal mechanical engine, didn't even have electric windows. That was brilliant. That was if I went back to having another car, I don't have a car now, but if I had a car, I'd want a Mercedes 190D, and I'd want it from 30-something years old, because that has proved its worth. And I think with some vehicles, I mean, somebody wrote a comment about Mercedes Sprinter recently. I mean, I know I've got a Mercedes Sprinter, and yeah, you've got to take it to a special place. You can't fix it yourself. And so that is what I think. That's how I see the problems with the Ice Mauve. I'll come back to this later, because we need to get people who've actually used the vehicle to actually say in more detail what they think. And okay, we've got a question here for Kevin. Wants me to do another video on Berchtesgaden. And yeah, okay, well, yeah, when I go to Berchtesgaden the next time, I was in Berchtesgaden for 10 days. Berchtesgaden is in the south eastern Bavaria. It's on the Austrian border almost. Fantastically attractive place. If I lived in Germany, there's only there's plenty of places I like living, but there's two I'd like to live in. But both starting with BE, Berlin and Berchtesgaden. Wonderful, wonderful location. So yeah, I'll do that one. And Kevin asked Nand B versus Hymer. I don't know who Nand B is. And thanks for that. Okay, so yeah, the beautiful interior of the Niesmann Bischoff Ice Smoke. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. Hey, but maybe somebody else will do a vehicle with the same interior but with stuff that works. So there's an idea for somebody else. Right, I'll tell you what, things I came off as often is the subject, I sort of come off the subject, but I started talking about the vehicles I like. Okay, number two I'm going to give a mention to is a thing called Bürstner Gallery. I've already uploaded a video of it. It's got this front bit, it hasn't got a pop top thing, it sort of comes up at the front, to make this really lovely bedroom in the top, and it's got these really nice steps up to it. And the problem is that I just honestly don't believe that it's going to work like that. There are things with that you're going to get water and sand and grit and all sorts of stuff inside. And the same goes for the Hymer Venture S, which is the other vehicle I wanted to make. It's nearly 5 meters tall with the bed up. If the insulation, I don't quite know how the insulation works. It pumps up hydraulically. What would happen if you got a puncture somewhere, and would it mean the whole thing would deflate, or would it just be the single cell that would deflate? I don't know. But they look wonderful, these vehicles. That gallery above all, I thought it was fantastic. The way it looked inside, but if it doesn't work, then there's probably, and also bear in mind the long-term value. At the moment, prices are going up. And one thing that's going to happen in 4 or 5 years' time is there's going to be a crash on motorhome prices. That I am, as a former I used to write economic reviews for a bank, and that I am certain of. Anyway, you want rear lounge campers, please? Right, George, I just filmed one this morning. In the last half hour, I filmed a rear large camper. What's the most important feature in a van when buying? What a brilliant question. The most important feature in a van when you buy it is its availability. There's nothing else which is important. And that's normally the case. I mean, people say to me, what van should I buy? And they're looking for something used. Now, the van you buy is the one which is available, and it meets your price. That's a dreadful comment to make. It sounds as though I'm avoiding answering the question, but that is the vehicle that you need to have. It's the one that you can buy, because particularly in the current market, you say, oh, I want one in with that or that. Now, when one buys a vehicle, we don't even know what the transmission's going to be. If you've got an automatic, a manual. Now, I know most people want automatic. They got stuck with a manual. They could be most unhappy. You know, for me, I am opposed to. Sorry, not opposed. That's not the right word. I don't like automatic transmission. I like manual. I'm in a real hardcore case there. I don't feel I'm driving unless I'm actually, I've got a gear stick to play around with. And sometimes you want to go faster, and or sometimes you're quite happy with what you're doing. You want to save fuel. So you can do all this with an automatic, with a manual. And you can't. But anyway, that's just me. There's other things as well. I can understand that Sony wants a motorhome in a particular colour. I really understand that. I mean, I've always dreamed. What I wanted once was a Rover. That's the British car in British racing green. That's what I want. I mean, it's 30 years ago. I certainly don't want it now, but that's what I wanted then. And I can sort of half understand the desire for a given colour, which I know from people do talk about this. I even mentioned in my video, what a great colour. But the other features as well. I mean, for me, I almost have the widthwise bed, but it is really quite quite difficult. That's why I urge anybody to consider getting something built to order. And the thing is, it costs a huge amount of cash, and these things may not be available to get credit for, but that's what I would consider for most people. What's the average size camper? What with the average size camper can I park in a supermarket? Well, in a supermarket, you're either taking up 1 bay or 2, but I've seen people take up 4. With my vehicle, I'm okay at 7 meters, but it's the overhang at the back, and if I can get into, as long as I can put the overhang onto onto sort of a grassy bit or something like that, then there is not that's not so much a problem. So I can get my vehicle into a normal supermarket. But I need that. I always think that we should park also as campers. I always park as far away as possible from the door, even if I'm carrying stuff like water with me. And the point of this is to be able to I don't know. I'm just trying to encourage people campers to show more, to be respectful for where they are. I do appreciate if somebody does have mobility issues. Then, of course, irrespective of the vehicle they're in, they need to be as close as possible to the supermarket door. And let's face it, if you're carrying 6 bottles of water at 2 liters each, that's 12 liters. That may be a bit heavy. So it's the future, says Clive. Are there standard batteries okay? Do I need aftermarket? No, get aftermarket. I think the vehicles, if you buy a new vehicle, they'll charge a fortune for the lithium batteries. You can buy cheaper batteries, but the problem with cheaper batteries is they may not have the paperwork to go with them, and so they may not be safe for use. They may not have the European Union whatever the standard on it. So always, in my opinion, that if you do get batteries, you could also, if you buy a vehicle, you can specify what batteries you want. Now, if you've bought a vehicle and you specified a company like it makes these portable batteries, what they call power stations. I don't like that word, but I'm possibly going to have to start using it. Generator, whatever. I like the word portable battery. It's a portable battery with everything installed inside. So, but currently it's only aftermarket. The only one I actually saw with a I posted a video as well, with a power station as the habitation battery is the Mercedes EQV conversion from Renault, and they have a Carbest portable. I don't know who manufactured that Carbest, because obviously it was just branded Carbest. But if it's from Renault and like that, and it's in a vehicle that costs 80,000 plus, then I'm pretty certain it's a good battery. 80,000 though? Did I say 80,000? I was near 100,000. A toilet cassette? No. Whoever comes with a toilet cassette, you get the toilet cassette which comes with the van. It's built for around that van. The toilet cassettes last a very long time. Thetford stuff that was built in my van, if it was, which may well be 24 years old. It's the same size. It depends. You've got various sizes, but you have to. These stick with the same cassette. If you want to buy another cassette, which is fair enough, it gets full, and it'll give you a bit more time on the road. Then use that one, and. Can you buy a higher capacity battery? Yeah, in most cases you can actually increase the size of the battery. Not in every vehicle, because there's a battery compartment, but you would then use the garage or other storage space to increase your battery. So in the battery compartment itself, some of these, for example, these Hymer models, you can get even like 3, you can even get 750 amps in the compartment. Or Carthago as well, but this is you can buy a higher capacity anyway. Just about every vehicle you're going to find a space to put it, I would have thought. Just about. Maybe these really tiny ones you can't, but just about anything else, then you will do. There's also, I didn't film, so I should have done. There were 10 amp lithium ferrous phosphate batteries on display at Caravan Salon. 10 amps. And yeah, I made a big mistake there. I should have filmed that. I don't know what I was thinking of. And so tiny things. They're quite expensive, of course, but all the same, the tiny things. And they would work if you can go on, in these cars, which is being used as a camper, such as stuff that Renault do. Or yeah, I've got some stuff from Mercedes I showed you, for example, with the Polo, and stuff like that. Then yeah. That would work. Are the battery terminals universal, or the positive and negatives change? The terminals, no, they're different, because you'd need a different type of connection, because if you've got this new stuff, then you need sort of standard sort of connection. It's not like you've got you connect it via I can't remember the word. It's not an O-ring, but you connect it by tightening around the terminal. No, in this case, it's plug in, which I think in any case is easier plugging something in. Of course, you would have to have the suitable plug-in point made for your electrics in your vehicle. Okay, so yeah, is it all to use a portable power bank, power oak, or a jackery, for example, as a power source hookup to charge your camper and leisure battery, save you off grid? Yeah, I do that. I charge my I have a power oak battery, for example, and I charge that up myself. I normally have my computer attached to that. This is something I recently started, and actually I should have started earlier, because I found sometimes that when I finished my tours like this one here, so I'd go to Caravan Salon and I'd get back around the end of October, and by the end of October I'm not getting enough power for the computer. So this summer we're trying experiments with the power station, and with portable. Got 100 volt, not 100 volt, sorry, 100 watt portable solar panel, and I had that, and that would power the computer completely. I took the battery out, which you shouldn't do things like this. The reason you shouldn't do it because it can upset the computer. You can upset the computer. The thing goes down. It only went down when it wasn't enough when I started trying to use the video software. But for it was okay. It was just running without directly. So it's okay. I charge up my the portable batteries at a campsite, as in, when I've got access to right, electrical conversions will happen. Yeah, there's no doubt on that. It's because the advances in the last 5 years since I started really taking interest in it have been enormous. And the batteries as well. I mean, you can, now I couldn't have lifted up, for example, 2 batteries. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, I could have done, but it would be really difficult to lift up 200 ampere hour lead acid batteries, and now it's really 200 amps. So it's not that difficult to do it with one hand. So just on that point alone, you've got these huge advances. The lead acid battery comes from the 19th century, and it was that which was used. It's still being used. But with these lithium ferrous phosphate, and there's other types of batteries which are incredibly, they're getting more powerful. And so if we've got here, so Kevy says that solar power, what do I think? Solar power as for powering vehicles will happen. It's impossible. No, it's not impossible. It's just about possible in my case. I don't do long journeys. I tend to stop places long periods of time. I reckon in the summer I could, if I covered my vehicle in solar, and the current one, and I got or maybe got one of the new Ford Transit electric. That's got the best range on any vehicle. It is if You might even, well, maybe exaggerating, but you might even get 300 kilometers out of it in a camper van conversion. But I reckon if I coated it in solar, then it would be enough to power it, because I do short journeys anyway. Having said that, and I need to point this out, this is really important, is that it's not that easy. But it's not the same. You've got to have voltage converters and all the rest of it. It's not a case of just putting you've got powering your calculator from the solar or something like that. It's not that easy. I mean, if it were that easy, I reckon there would be on mobile phones would have a solar bit on the patch on the back or something like that, which they don't, or cover the whole thing in solar or something like that, which they don't have yet. I don't, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, so solar power is great. I think any serious camper must have solar on their vehicle. Solar, nearly every vehicle manufacturer, is an option, which they tend not to offer themselves. Without solar, you're not going to get very far. Anyway, so will this make you I am self-sufficient from March until October. If you the roof would have to be, I mean, not just the roof, the whole thing would have to be full of solar panels. And not only that, they'd have to be disconnected, because if you get shade in certain areas, that can create problems. So if you'd have to have something like the roof, you'd have to have, like, I don't know, 5 leads coming in to power the batteries if the whole vehicle were covered in solar, as was that Death Lefts they did in 2017. That is actually just that those solar panels they're not connected. They're just, I don't know if they painted on or what they did, but they're not connected. They did it as a bit of publicity. They say that the solar will pop up the habitation battery. Maybe the ones on the roof will, but anyway. Anyway, good. So, sorry. What's the biggest power drain on a van? Don't know. Fridge, I suppose. Computer. I don't know. No, it's the fridge. It's not, because the lights don't drain much. These days, I mean, the old ones, yeah, but the light these days don't drain anything. And what else is that? So the fridge is probably the biggest single thing. The pump that drains next to nothing. I tried measuring it once, and it really is next to nothing. And yeah, it's a fridge or whatever you plug into it. Okay, right, new Affinity Door looking great as well. As you remember the video of the Globe Traveller Talento. Jacek is a great design. Yeah, he's brilliant. Of course, he's a friend of mine, so I'm a bit biased. And so I spoke to him a couple of days ago. Yeah, the Affinity Door, I actually recorded it. I was in the factory in January, and I recorded it then, and I lost the video. I really did try to find it. So when I was there, I videoed it. Then I lost it. I don't know what I did with the video. So anyway, yeah, it is. Mind you, it's nowhere near as practical as the Globe, the Affinity, the standard one. So because there's next to no storage in it, but it's got a great washroom at the back. Anyway, I'll tell you what. I think I'll end here for the day. That's almost 40 minutes. Thanks very much for being with me, and I'd like to be able to do more like this. I'll try to. Thanks. I'm sorry I couldn't do it at Caravan Salon. The will was there, and I tried several times. It just didn't work. So thanks for being with me today, and all the best from Mülheim. Ruhr in Germany, and bye for now.